I hope you're having an amazing Thursday. Welcome once again to Transformational Thursday. It's transformational time. Yay, yay. Our topic today is no money, no time, no problem. These are real estate strategies for life. I hear all the time from people when I talk about that, I'm a real estate investor. Oh, I'd love to invest in real estate, but I don't have money, but I don't have time, but I don't have experience. Guess what? That's not a dead end. When it comes to, there are so many real estate investing strategies. When it comes to different things about your life, you don't have time or you don't have money, etc. There are ways around all these things. There are so many strategies that can be put together to make the one that's right for you. I am always preaching. That's what my program is all about, is finding out who you are first as an investor, and then we look for the right strategy that matches with your life. So real estate really is one of these powerful paths to financial freedom. And if you haven't heard my story before, I'll tell it again if you have heard it, so bear with me. 2 years ago, I lost my home in a fire. I felt like I lost everything. We lost all of our belongings, all of our memories, everything was gone. I felt like I had lost everything. And then that 2 months later, I also lost my job. I really felt like, oh my gosh, everything was gone. And then I stepped back and remembered that I didn't lose everything, because I already had like 6 real estate investing properties along with investments. And then my house that I had, that I lost in the fire was actually used to leverage as down payments on those investment properties. I didn't have savings. So I was in that boat before I, got into real estate investing. I was there. I was with you, all those that said, oh, I don't have money to invest, because I thought I didn't have any money to invest, because I didn't have a savings. And I was under this, assumption that you needed a savings in order to invest, because you needed that savings to put money down. But there are so many other ways of investing without having literally savings in your account. So I'm going to pick just a few, because I could be here like for years talking about all the strategies and all the combinations that are out there. But just to give you some examples, some strategies that's out there that you can kind of combine, that you can do, depending on where you are in life, right? So once you've picked a strategy, it's important to, pick a strategy first, and then you can go deep into those strategies. So learn a bit about what strategies are out there, very high level, right? And then I want you to step back and understand who you are, like what skills you have, how much time you have, etc. And then once you've done that and you've kind of compared it to the strategies, you've sort of picked some strategies, you can then go deep into those strategies. So a lot of people spend thousands and thousands of dollars and thousands of hours learning and getting coaching for real estate investing. However, they end up still stuck. And the reason for that is that you're overwhelmed, because you don't know which one's right for you. So that's where I always say, step back, understand who you are as an investor first, and then compare it to those strategies. And then you can spend the money on coaching, spend the money on books, spend the time on webinars, on those strategies that goes deep into it. But the important thing is to start taking action. So I'm going to cover a few strategies as examples. So before we get into it, I'm going to define some of these strategies that I'm going to be talking about. And one is, for instance, fractional ownership. So there is such a thing as investing in real estate that you don't have to put a whole bunch of money in, and you don't have to own the whole property. You can actually, heard the term crowdfunding. So this is what it is. The same way you do with stocks. You don't actually buy sometimes a whole stock. You're able to buy some of it, partial, or so there are ways to invest in real estate through fractional ownership or crowdfunding, and there are apps out there that will do this. Actually, I am a part of a team that's building one of these platforms, and later I'm going to share with you the information on it and how to invest in it. But you can invest as little as $10 in this and build from there. So that would be like a real estate investor in training. You can put a little bit of money instead of having those savings in the bank account with $200 in savings. Imagine having $200 in real estate with the returns that you'll get, and you can say, hey, I own a bit of real estate, right? So that's one way that it's like you don't have to have tons and tons and tons of money to do it. But some other ways of some other strategies that are out there. So I'm going to talk about wholesaling. And wholesaling is when you find a property at a deep discount. So you're not finding it retail, you're finding a distressed property. There's a large margin there between the market value and what you can get that property for, and you get it under contract. It's not through a realtor, so you're going directly to the owner or the seller, and you assign that contract to another investor for a fee, right? So you're flipping the contract over, so it's fast cash and there's no ownership. And you do have to have some money to give that person, that seller, a little bit of a down payment for good faith, that you will get back once you flip that contract, or once you pull out, whichever one. Another one is flipping. When you buy a distressed property, you buy a property and you're buying it under market value, where you can renovate it and then you can sell it for a profit. And another term you'll hear me use is buy and hold. This is when you purchase a property and you rent it out, and then you create cash flow and long-term appreciation. So you're getting cash flow from the rental income minus the expenses, and then you're holding that property for years where you're going to be seeing a market appreciation on it. And then I will use the term what's called creative financing. And this is like seller financing. So the seller is actually your bank, subject to deals. It's borrowing money from other people, using other people's money. That's known as OPM is the acronym for it, other people's money. So you don't need to know much more of your own, right? So you don't need much more of your own money when you're doing some of these creative financing too. So that's like high level. So when I say these things now, I've defined it so we can go into it. So here's the power. You don't have to just pick one either. You can combine strategies. So for instance, here's one combination that I want you to think about. And that is, so you're going to do a wholesaling to fund your first buy and hold. So let's call this person Jason. He's a real estate investor, but he wants to get into real estate investing, but he doesn't have any money. But he does understand so he's had some training and he understands how to look at a property, how much that property would, what's the market value for the property. You understand that he knows how to negotiate that property to get a deep discount in it. And he can see the potential in that property too, of how it could be renovated to make more, to force appreciation on there. So Jason decided that he doesn't have savings. So what he's going to start out with his strategy is wholesaling. He's going to wholesale that property. So he gets he does a few deals, a few of these. Say he's done, he did 3 deals. He's found 3 properties to wholesale. He's been able to successfully sell, flip that contract over to wholesale that to investors. And now he's made himself some money from these, 3 deals that he's done. And now he's got $50K. So that $50K now, Jason finds a condo that's going to give him, when he runs the numbers, going to give him some cash flow of $400. and he's been able to put that 50K down on that condo and get a mortgage on it. And now he's able to have a property in his name, right? That is his investment property. So he's combined two strategies. So he started out with wholesaling, and now he's found a property that he wants to keep for himself. And he's now going to hold on to that because he's got the down payment. So that's one idea. So another one is, let's call this person Vanessa. And Vanessa is good at seeing things and seeing how she can make things beautiful. So she finds a property that's at a deep discount and that needs renovation, and she's done what we call flip. Remember, I defined it as you buy the distressed property, you fix it up, and then you flip it, you sell it. So she even may be able to wholesale this to an investor if this is now going to be a cash flowing property that someone will buy. And if she's offering it still with a discount on it, she may be able to wholesale that, but she may want to actually sell this through a realtor. So she's going to flip it on the market, right? And sell it through a realtor that first-time home buyer, a homeowner will want this home. So she's able to make some good profits on this. And that money that she's made from her flip, now she has a down payment that she's now able to buy a, say, 4-unit building. So a fourplex that's going to produce some long-term income. So that's another way of combining strategies. You do some flips, you get some money. So flips and wholesaling are ways to get money, to get cash. They're not going to give you cash flow monthly. They're going to give you equity right away, money right away. Then you can take that money and then put it into a more buy and hold situation where now you can get cash flow. So here's another one. So say we've got Michael. Let's give this person's name is Michael. And Michael is hunting for rentals. So he's looking for rentals for himself to do a buy and hold. And he's seeing all these properties, and he's found some really good ones, some properties that are good deals, but it doesn't actually match what he wants, the type of property that he wants to use in his portfolio to buy and hold. But he's found some great properties out there that are deeply discounted that other investors may be interested in. So what Michael decides to do is say, hey, I came upon this opportunity. I'm not going to lose it. It's a great opportunity for someone, just not right for me. So instead of him walking away from that and say, oh no, it's not right for me, I'm not going to do it. He's done this work. He's found this property. So what he decides to do is he decides to wholesale this property to another investor. And he makes some cash from it by flipping that contract on there. So he was able to monetize a lead. So don't let leads go on, see what you can do with things. If it's not right for you, it may be right for somebody else and you can still make some money on there. So here's another one with creative financing. Tasha found a deal, right? And Mark brought the money. So Tasha didn't have the money for this, but she had the knowledge and she did the footwork. She went out there and she found this amazing deal. And Mark doesn't have time, but Mark has money. So Tasha and Mark then come together and they're able to split so one is a financing partner and one is the active partner doing the work, and they put together and they do a joint venture partnership where they're able to split the roles and responsibilities, and together they own a triplex. But maybe Mark even has some skills. Maybe Mark is also a bookkeeper, so they don't have to hire a bookkeeper. Like these kind of things. And Tasha's good at, doing some renovation herself. And good at interior design. Any of those things. You can combine your skills, you can combine your money. There's things that you always have to bring to the table. So be creative and partner with other people, because as they say, when you partner with others, so you may not have the skills or you may not have the money, but then when partnering, you're able to still be part of a deal. So instead of trying to hold on to things and say, I'm waiting for me to do it by myself, if you can partner with someone, half of something is better than a whole of zero, because you can't take action until you have all these things aligned. But if you can line up a few people with the things that you need, then together you can make money. So this is what I mean. There are always ways to invest in real estate. You just have to be creative. You have to think about it. There are so many strategies out there. You just have to get to know the strategies from a high level and then understand how that aligns with your life, and then plan out a plan of attack, and then start on it and go learn as you go. So you can have as much theory in the world, but if you're not taking action, you're not putting it to practice, you're never really going to learn. Most people learn, everybody learns actually by doing. Theoretical doesn't mean anything until you try it. So I want you to pop into the chat. What strategies are you doing, or what strategies would you like to do? And does this give you an idea of what do you think that you can combine? What kind of strategies do you think you can combine to get to your first deal or to get to your first few deals? So pop that into the comments for me. If you're, by the way, if you're watching this live, put hashtag live in the comments so that I know that you're here. And if you are watching this as replay, please put hashtag replay so that I know that you stopped by. By the way, at the end, I'm going to be giving away a free gift for you. So stick around a little bit longer and I will tell you what that free gift is. And I also announce my new program that's coming up on May 23rd. So classic examples of no time, no money, no skills, right? So here's another case study and very short idea. So Sarah has no money. So instead of Sarah saying, I can't invest in real estate, Sarah wholesaled a deal, and she was able to speak to that seller and, just put down like a few $100s. She's put down $200 just in good faith. And then she was able to, she found a seller, another investor to lock in that contract with. And Sarah was then able to assign it and make $8,000 from it. So a little bit of money. So I don't want to say $0, because you do have to, when you're wholesaling, you do have to, put some money, give that seller some money in good faith to say that, yeah, I'm going to come back for this, right? Because they're relying on you as a wholesaler. So she had a little bit of money that she was able to, or she borrowed it from her parents, and that's another way. So then she did have $0 then because she borrowed it. But, she was able to wholesale a deal and make money off of something that didn't need any money down on there. So Dave now has a job. He's got a family. They've got a line of credit. They've got equity in their home, but he has zero time. He's got kids in soccer and in dance, and his family time is important. He's got a job. He's constantly working overtime. So he doesn't have any free time, but he does have some money, or he's got some registered funds there. Instead of, for Dave with no time, Dave can then invest money passively. So he can either be a joint venture partner, or he can just be, investing in something like a syndicated mortgage fund, or a REIT, or he could be part of like a land equity deal where he's investing money. And, so it depends on what Dave wants, but if he wants to have money monthly, then he will look for deals where he can invest passively and get money, cash flow monthly. Or if he doesn't mind and he's looking for something for the future, then he may look at something that will, that won't give him money right now, but he'll wait for that percent return on investment at the end of a term. So that's for someone that has no time but's got some money. So some of us do have some money. If you own a home, you have money. You have money in your home. You have equity in your home that you can use to invest. Although, like, I didn't have any savings because I spent it all on my kids, right? Giving them a good life. But I did have equity in my home. I also had registered funds. So registered funds can be invested in real estate and give better returns than you can get in the stock market. Same thing with your TFSA. I didn't realize that before starting to learn about real estate investing, that my TFSA didn't have to be a savings account. My TFSA can be invested, and TFSAs can be invested in stocks, but they can be invested in real estate. So you can hold a mortgage for someone using a TFSA. There are mutual fund trusts that are set up for you to invest in development, new developments, in land development deals with your registered funds. So there are opportunities out there to use your registered funds in real estate, and you don't have to have savings. You don't have to have liquid cash right there to invest. So Tanya has no skills. So Tanya thought that there's no way Tanya has no money, but she thinks that she has no skills. And so I don't have any money, I don't have any skills, but Tanya's got some time. So, but she thought, I can't invest in real estate. But then Tanya found out that she could. She knows that she's a natural organizer. She's helps plan events for people. She's really good at getting things done. She's really good at prioritizing her day. So Tanya then partners with other people, and Tanya takes on the role of project managing, of organizing. She partners with a contractor and she partners with a money partner. Together they do a flip. So she gets a money partner, or she finds a private lender that will get private lending, and she's able to get some money to fund a flip, and then she's able to then split the profits 50-50 on that. So she didn't think she had any skills, but she is a natural organizer, so she was able to help work with a contractor and get all of that done, and was able to do a flip. So use what you do have. Partner for the rest isn't the moral of this story. There is always ways of doing things. Partnering is a great way to do this. So to use what you have and then partner for the rest. So I told you, if you stuck around, I'll let you know what my free gift is. So my free gift today is what I call the competitive edge assessment. So it's yours free. So it helps you to go through your things about you, like how much time you have. So there are assessments on your time, on your how much money you have, your skills, etc., to help you go through and do that assessment. There's also videos available. So this is a pretty big gift. So it's part of my training program, my 5-week training program that I am giving it to you for free. So if you'd like that gift, put gift in the comments, and I will provide you with the link to get the information on how to get that. So also, I've also said that I have a program starting. So I do have a program that is starting on May 23rd. And this is about how to attract prospects using Facebook. So in this program, it's 5 weeks. It starts on May 23rd. You get videos. So you get an email every Friday with a list of videos. They're bite-sized videos, and total of maybe 45 minutes for all the videos. You get an assignment or a few assignments in there so that you can learn and implement. And those assignments are not theoretical. They're to do things right in your Facebook, right? They're to build your business. So by the end of this 5-week program, you will have your Facebook optimized so that when people come to it, you look professional. You're able to attract the right people, the right clients. And then you also learn how to write engaging and use things like Canva. So I teach how to use Canva and how to use ChatGPT, and then give you some exciting prompts that you can use in ChatGPT. I do have a few seats left for that. So reach out to me if you'd like to find out more about the program. Program in the link. It is starting on the 23rd. So there's not a whole lot of time left. So get going, take action now so that you can move forward in your business. Invest in you, right? So that investing in you is your first investment. That won't take a lot of money to do, but it needs action in order to do that. So when we wrap up, you don't need the perfect circumstances. All of this is all to explain to you that there are ways of investing in real estate, and stop using all these excuses. Don't wait. There never will be a perfect circumstance, but you can use so many different strategies to achieve your goals, to achieve your dream of investing in real estate. And I can help you do that. So reach out to me and we can talk about that too. You can choose the right strategies for you. You're not married to those strategies. You can change. Right now, whatever your life is right now, use that. We create a strategy for that. And then that strategy, as life changes, as you make more money, as you get more experience, all these things, those strategies can change. You're not married to it. But start, right? There's always a way in, is my whole moral of this story. And you are more ready than you think. You really are more ready than you think. You may think you don't have money also, but I can hook you up with a financial planner that will help you find ways of getting money too. So comment again, hashtag replay if you're watching this after. Put free gift in the comments if you'd like the download to that guide, to that checklist, and then I'll put program if you'd like to know more about the program, the Facebook optimization. I think I call it Facebook Real Estate Investing Magnet. So if you want to know more about that program that's starting on the 3rd, ASAP, put program in there and I will get you the details. So until next time, stay bold, stay energetic, keep transforming, take action is the moral of this story. There is always a way. We'll see you next time on Transformational Thursday. Take care, everyone.